Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Stepping Up to the Plate. So glad you could join us. Wonderful time of year here, spring in Boston, where spring hopes eternal, and the playoffs here is upon us with the Celtics and the Bruins having some strong starts. Now it's on to Game 2, where the Bruins lost a tough one at home against the Toronto Maple Leafs in the first round, and the Celtics coming out with a huge win against a depleted Miami Heat team. And, it was like the Celtics were playing with their food in the first round against the Heat. But extraordinarily, every team in the playoffs, in the NBA playoffs, won their every home team, I should say, won their first round game. So extraordinary anomaly there. But the Red Sox went to Pittsburgh, had a pretty encouraging performance there. They swept, and now they're on to Cleveland, where they continue to be decimated by injuries, the latest of which was a rib fracture by Tristan Casas. That's going to put him out of commission for, I guess...
could be for the season.
Undetermined. Yeah, could be for the season.
It's pretty serious. They're going to have to get somebody...
Yeah.
They're talking to... they're thinking of Alonso from the Mets.
Yeah, wow.
That would cost them...
That would cost them a lot of money.
That'll cost them either Grissom or Bello, or... he's not cheap.
No.
There's a couple of other guys that are out there that...
But he can't be a rental. Yeah.
No.
My main man, Al Prizzuti, by the way.
Alonso would not be a rental, but they've got a couple of other guys that they're looking at that are up in the age 37, 30.
They had guys. They had Mitch Moreland here.
Yeah, well.
They had Kyle Schwarber here. Wow. They could have made Hunter Renfroe a first baseman. I think he could have resurrected his career.
They got a kid down at Pawtucket that they could bring back. That's pretty good too.
Yeah.
So they're not going. In my opinion, the Red Sox are
done.
Not going anywhere.
They're done.
Yeah.
They're absolutely done. I think.
Can't beat Cleveland, that's for sure.
Right. Oh my God. They have some professional hitters on that team. Yeah. With Jose Ramirez, who had a big time home run against the Sox last night. But Al, let's do a quick pivot to the NHL playoffs. I happened to watch with great interest the Florida Panthers and the Lightning. Interesting game there. Just the level of talent that they put out, they roll out there in waves. John Cooper and Paul Morris, those guys, unbelievable. And of course the Panthers take game 2, they go up 2-0 in that series.
Yeah, I think they're probably deeper and they're a better team.
Yeah.
But
two great goaltenders, Al.
Yeah, there's so many good teams out there. The Rangers, I think, are probably, in my opinion, the cream.
Yeah.
Because they got the best goaltender.
Right.
But they also have a deep 3-4 lines. They're a good team and they got a good coach. The Bruins. I knew in the second period when it was 2-2 they were going to lose that game. First of all, they got outplayed.
Yes.
And this business about the Bruins were happy to lose the last 2 games because they wanted to play Toronto, that's a lot of BS.
I wouldn't have wanted to face Austin Matthews. No.
First of all, Toronto's got a better offensive team than the Bruins. Better offensive team. They don't have usually the defense and the goaltending. If that steps up, which it did in Game 2.
Yeah.
They beat the Bruins at home. They take home ice advantage now.
Yeah.
So the Bees go up there tonight.
Correct.
And I wouldn't be surprised if the Bees come back here down 3-1, because I think Toronto, hockey's interesting because it's an emotional game.
For sure.
If you don't win, if the Bruins had taken the first 2, I think it would have deflated Toronto. You can see when they show the crowds that show up.
Outside the yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's an amazing thing. They haven't won since '59.
Yeah.
So I think what's going to happen here is if the Bees don't come out forceful in the first period tonight, and it's a close game, they can't win close games. I'm
Al,
telling you.
can you answer something for me? And it's just perplexing to me. What was the big deal about Jim Montgomery's decision to go with to keep the playoff rotation, the regular season rotation with the goalies? I mean, it's not like...
I'll tell you why it was a big deal. Swayman hasn't lost, hasn't given up more than one goal to Toronto.
Yeah.
And I understand he wanted to say there's no difference between the two goalies, at least in terms of publicly saying that there's no difference.
Right.
Swayman has a better record against Toronto. He won the first game.
And he made some great saves.
Oh yeah, and if I'm in that situation, I said, let's go with what won. Until he loses, let's go with what won, and then I don't have a problem putting Ullman in there in Game 3 if he lost Game 2. He didn't get a chance to do that, and I don't blame Ullman. Austin Matthews' goal was a classic goal scorer's goal. He went left, he went right, he deked him.
Got him on the ground, and
Ullman went this way, he went right over him.
Got him on the ground.
Easy goal for a great goal scorer.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is you've got Austin Matthews, you've got Mitch Marner, you got Tavares. They're a deep team.
Yes.
And playing in Toronto tonight, the Bruins had better come out, or they could be down 2-0 in the first period. If that happens, they can't win. For some reason, they can't win close games. If you look, they've won 4-1, 4-1, 5-1 against Toronto in those last 3 games.
Yeah.
Okay? When it gets close,
I think something happens, Al.
Something.
They get tight. They get tight, and then it's like fatigue creeps in. They're not playing with the same energy.
I just think who's ever responsible for the power play is got to change that up. In other words,
but Al, they had 2 power play goals by DeBrusque in the first game.
You got to say that. Well, that's the point I'm getting at. Is what they do is they go to Pasta all the time. He's too far over this way.
Yeah.
If the goalie's here and he's here, if it goes low, Marchand shows it back to McAvoy. McAvoy then swings over. You might have a Ullman come over this way. What's he do? He throws it to Pasta.
Yeah.
Okay. Then Pasta shoots. The guy either makes the save.
Oh yes, Al. I know what you're talking about. You know what, Al? Why does Pasta shoot on goal when he should go back door?
Well, what he should do is this. Because
Maroon is sitting out there.
He should do what Marchand does, who's not as good a goal scorer as him. What he does is he should go down. When Marchand goes down, he sends the puck back to McAvoy.
Right.
Pasta should come this way. Okay? So
closer to the top.
Well, he's got more of an angle. He can go left, he can go right. Over here, all he can do is go under the guy's pads or over his right shoulder. Because he can't get it over here.
It's a harsher angle. Yes, I agree.
Too far over here. He comes this way, it gives him more.
More net to work with.
Yeah,
yes.
And then when he's there, well, Riemsdyk did it at the start of the season. He hasn't been but
he can get some redirects.
DeBrusque, Riemsdyk,
Maroon,
Kiki, Morgan,
Geeky,
all go to the net.
Yeah.
Because if it doesn't go in, it's a rebound. Then you got a dirty goal, and they're not doing that.
Yeah.
You know what? I didn't think they were a Stanley Cup team. The more I watch them, I'm sure they're not a Stanley Cup team. Now, any team can win because it's an emotional game.
Well, the Florida Panthers last year are a prime example of that.
But if you think about this,
and
I've had conversations over the last few days with people, Montgomery, last season, gave the Bruins the greatest record in NHL history, and they lose in the first round to the Florida Panthers.
Yeah.
This year, they had 109 points. They could have been, again, the leader in that Eastern Division. And now they play Toronto in the first. If they lose in the first round, think about this.
Yeah.
100 and whatever it was, 35 points they had last year, 109 points, and losing in the first round.
Yeah.
He might not be able to rouse these guys. If you look at the playoffs, it's completely different.
Well, you may have a roster turnover again.
Well, they might have a coach turnover.
Well, and I mean, a goalie, one of those.
I think one of them's going to go anyway.
Right.
I think Ullman will go. This kid Busey down in Providence is a pretty decent goalie, and I think Swayman can go 45 to 50 games next year, and the other guy goes 30, not 42 and 42.
And Al, as with the playoffs, the intensity ratchets it up.
Big time.
The physicality ratchets it up.
Big time.
And then there's like, a little bit of mischievousness also ratcheted up.
Yeah, but that's the
because I saw something, and they're both going after Marchand.
Well, why not?
They were Ty Domi, Max Domi.
Oh,
Ty
no,
Domi.
yeah, well,
Max Domi. He slashes Marchand on the wrist because Marchand has the wrist exposed. So he catches him right there. And then on another one, I don't know who it was, like slashes Marchand, off of the face-off, and he goes right down. So
But I think
it looks like they're trying to
with
target him a little bit.
Domi was taken to task by the coach of Toronto, saying he went over the line in game one.
Yeah.
He did go over the line. You can trigger emotion on the Bruins pretty easy by going after either Pasta
Or Marchand.
Marchand.
Yeah.
And then you get guys that don't normally get into the scraps.
There was a
come
lot
to
of
the
those,
defense.
boy.
Tyler Bertuzzi was a big mistake for the Bruins, letting him go for one reason. One, he's a good playoff player. Two, he's
But didn't he?
Brad Marchand.
Didn't he have a contract here that would have paid him more if he stayed?
Well,
and then
no,
he took less to go to.
No, he took more to go. He only was making like a two. He got 5 to go to
Right?
Toronto, but Toronto only gave him a 1 year. The Bruins were willing to give him less money but longer term. But he started the season pretty poorly for Toronto, and there was a question about at the end of this year, his term is up. He could go someplace else.
Come back here?
No, whether he comes back here or not, it would depend. Now, for some reason, him and Marchand got into it the last game.
Yes.
And so I don't know if there was bad blood or what, but hockey's such an emotional game that, look at Pat Maroon. Everybody hated Pat Maroon. He comes to the Bruins, everybody loves him.
I love him.
Because he's a Bruin. So they've got to get more out of there. I love Marchand, but I don't think he's as healthy this year as he was the year before. I think that hip
It's a
operation.
cumulative effect, Al, of all the brutal contact that they take. And let me tell you, it's not just in this series, it's league-wide.
Well, you're going to have to.
I mean,
here's the problem.
There's a
with the
lot of
NHL.
hitting going on.
But here's the problem.
Guys
with the
launching
NHL.
into each other,
You build a team to go over 82 games, which the Bruins have done, which lacks the identity of being an aggressive, hard-hitting team.
Yeah.
Okay, and then comes the playoffs, and you need aggression and hard hitting and what. Now Sweeney goes out and gets Pat Maroon, but Maroon is 36 years old. He's got back issues and whatnot. He's a presence. There's no question about it. And losing Lucic hurt them.
Yeah.
Because he's another presence, a physical presence, not a goal scorer or anything like that. But they don't need that. If you take Trent Frederick out of that lineup, I don't think there's a guy there that any opposing team fears.
Fierce, yeah. Well, now that you got Pat Maroon, maybe a little bit
Yeah,
now.
well, so that's what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
here's the problem: they go
Carlo,
82.
Pat Maroon,
They go
yeah.
82 games. Now they got to come into the playoffs and change their style.
Yeah.
You can't play 82 games and then all of a sudden turn a switch. It's not a toggle switch where you go, okay, we did this, now we have to do this.
Right.
It's hard to do that.
Yes.
Other teams have played a little more physical, i.e. the Rangers, i.e. there's a lot of them out there. They get in the playoffs, that's what they do. So they just ratchet up a little more in terms of the hits.
Yeah.
And the refs let it go.
And I also see the physicality in the NBA playoffs also ratcheted up considerably, especially in that first round against the Heat that the Celtics had. And the Celtics looked
watched
okay,
that.
but they looked like they were a little bit bothered by the Heat's, defensive posturing.
At the start of
and
the game, they come out and they were up 14 to nothing or whatever
yeah.
it was. And then Miami, I thought, played much better
Yes.
without their star.
They're playing more connected on
Yeah,
defense. I
and-
like the way anytime Tatum touched the ball on the perimeter, he got doubled.
Yeah.
And they
Palestra's
pressured him right away.
He's a good coach.
Yeah,
And
Spoelstra's a good coach.
I think if they had, what's his name?
Mazzulla,
No.
Jimmy Butler,
Butler, that game would have been a lot closer.
Jimmy
especially
Butler,
at the start.
Terry Rozier,
Yeah,
those are guys.
They're depleted.
Yeah.
But you know what? And I think we said it in the last week. If the Celtics lose at any point, this is what the Bruins did last year. Everybody thought the Bruins were going to win the Stanley Cup. Everybody thinks the Celtics are going to win the championship.
Well, I think more people think the Celtics will because right now, you look at the path that they're
Yeah.
on. There's really, I mean, outside of the Knicks, who do you fear in the
No,
East?
I think it's much easier.
All
for
the teams that I'm
Celtics.
afraid of are in the West.
I think it's easier for the Celtics to win than it is to go through that grind, that the physicality
Yeah.
that you have in the NHL. They go from this series to this series to this series to finally, you got to win 16
So
games.
they will play with the winner of the Cavs Magic series, right? So two tough teams. Cavs is getting them some problems. You know, they've got
They've
some
given the Celtics more problems
Yeah.
than the other team. But
right. Then the Sixers or the the Sixers may be out in the first round because they're playing the Knicks.
Yeah.
The Knicks are a team that I'm concerned about. I think it's funny. Like I heard you saying in my mind, I'm afraid of the Heat. Remember you were like
Oh, yeah.
talking about them. I don't fear them at all now. I mean,
well, without Butler, it's not even that.
and then the Bucks with Giannis out,
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how those teams navigate those injuries. And luckily, that knock on wood, that none of those injuries befall the Celtics.
Well, if Porzingis gets hurt, then my
Changes
my
the
what do you
complexion,
call
I
it?
think,
Yeah,
yeah.
changes it. But I think if everybody stays healthy,
Yeah.
I think that they'll waltz to the championship. I mean, I don't see anybody beating them in a series.
No.
I just don't, I mean, you can beat them a game here and there with guys shooting threes like 20%.
And then
but-
on the other side, you've got teams, I think they'll cannibalize each other. And the Western Conference champ is going to be, a team that's had a pound of flesh taken out of them, from all the teams on that side.
Well, that's what happens in the playoffs.
Yeah.
On both hockey and in basketball. If let's play it out. If the Bruins were to go 7 games against Toronto, 7 tough games, all right, and then they have to go to play another, and it goes 7 games, then they could be so tired by the time they get to the 3rd round.
Well, remember how when they won the cup last, they had 7-game series every round.
Now, some people go, that's good. And then there's other people, it's an argument whether you want to think that that's good because it gets everybody up or that you get burnt out toward the end.
I think
I'm not sure.
I'm in the camp that it's good because it keeps your edge sharp.
Yeah,
know,
I would think it's good.
There's no lull.
The problem is, do you have goes down to it. Is it coaching? Is it the athletes? I think the Bruins don't have the athletes that the record shows.
Right.
In other words, I don't think they're a 109-point team. And we talked about this the other day. I talk about it all the time with a group of friends. Have you ever watched the Bruins this year, where they were so far better than the team that you were watching? Very seldom.
Yeah.
Every game, I don't care where that team that they played, they look like they're fighting.
Even at the end of the season against the Senators.
Yeah.
It was life and death against those guys.
They lost to Washington. They lost to Ottawa.
Yeah.
They lost to teams that weren't even in the playoffs even.
Right.
And the problem with that is that who are these? Who are they? I think there's an identity problem with this particular Bruins team. Now with the Celtics, I don't think I have an identity problem. I just think who's gonna step up if one guy goes down, and it is
But you know what?
amazing how they do it.
Yeah, they have more than one. There's more than one answer there.
There's 4.
5.
Well, there's 5, but I mean, Porzingis shoots from outside. I can't believe. See, I hate the 3-pointers. I just think it ruined the game. But here's a guy who's 7'3", 7'4".
He's shooting on a downward.
He got hit
angle.
on the hand the other night. I thought
Yeah,
his hand
I saw that.
I thought it was going to be worse, but it didn't turn out to be. When I watch him, you see Tatum start slow. Brown picks it up. You see the whole team just.
Drew Holiday,
Holiday
Derek
can-
White,
Holiday's
Sam
a worker.
Hauser comes in.
Oh.
Peyton Pritchard comes
Peyton
in.
Pritchard. I mean, they're 7 deep there for
And
sure.
it's funny that Joe Mazzulla kept his starters in playing for a long stretch, and someone made the comment that it probably had to do with the fact that they were off for 10 days,
Yeah.
and these guys hadn't played a long game,
Well-
and he wanted to get stretched out, so to speak.
Well,
and
I
I
look-
think there was some merit to that.
I look at a couple of things. And I watch all the sports. I've been watching. Look at the golf. Scheffler won again.
Yeah.
I mean,
Unbelievable.
I can't believe it. And then golf does crazy things. The other day, Patrick Cantley was 2 shots away when they called the rain and the delay.
Yeah.
He had to go back the next day for 2 shots.
Yeah.
I said, come on.
Let him
Let him
finish.
finish the 2 and then
Go. Yeah.
But anyway, Scheffler is the new Tiger Woods.
No doubt.
You know, he's got game. I can't believe he moves his feet the way he does. I'm playing tomorrow. I'm not going to try to do it.
You're going to break your ankles, Al.
Holy
You'll sprain
Jesus.
your ankles if you do
Amazing.
that. Hey, Al, remember we were sitting here talking about WNBA draft
Yeah.
and Caitlin Clark. And were you the one who said she shouldn't have come out because she's not going to make as much money?
No. Well, she's not going to make for a salary.
No, of course not.
She didn't get
apples and
it,
oranges.
but she just signed a.
But I said to you, she's going to get endorsement money.
Well, she got a $20 million endorsement from
With Nike.
I mean,
And you know what? And there are others lining up right now that want to partner with her.
Well, let me
like
put it this
Gatorade
way.
and probably.
let me put it this way: if I'm an owner and I looked and I saw the way the games ended and all this stuff in the tournament, if she got 700, I'd give Cordoza $1 million.
Oh, she's going to get that.
Millions.
Yeah.
Because she's big. She's 6'7".
But
She's a stalwart.
Caitlin Clark puts people in the stands.
No, I understand
She puts
from a
eyeballs.
business standpoint.
Everyone in Iowa is going to be watching all of her games in Indiana. And in fact, some of those people may drive to Indiana to go see her. And then when she goes out on the
see.
people are going to come out to watch her.
She's no Pistol Pete Maravich, I'll tell you that.
She's better than.
No.
She's
No,
better.
She only scored
She scored more points
against,
than him.
well, let me put it against inferior players that Pistol Pete did. Pistol Pete was he was.
Well, I don't
Here's
know
my
that
problem.
Pistol Pete
I
played
like-
against Michael Jordan or anyone like that.
Don't get me
you know.
wrong. I think she's a good player, a great player.
She's a great
college
player,
player. What she can do is she can pass, which helps her. She shoots too many four-pointers, which are only 3-pointers, but way out.
But she makes them.
Some.
She makes them.
You know.
The record, the basket that gave her the record, Al, she hit that from the logo.
Well,
She hits logo threes. Unbelievable. So at
didn't
any
have a
rate,
good last game.
she's
Let's
got
put it
this
that
nice
way. She
deal
didn't
from
have-
Nike.
yeah.
Well deserved by her. All the credit in the world. That league is on its way up. It's like on the launching pad. They're
think
giving
so.
it the countdown, and it's going to lift off this summer. Yeah, Al.
You know, I think you're wrong, but we'll see.
We could make a friendly wager on that.
I watch. You know, it's interesting. You know who Sabalenka is
Yeah.
on the women's thing?
Yeah.
She beat Iga Swiatek the other day in the Spanish, the Madrid Open,
Yeah.
and they interviewed her. And she's very controversial, very nice, incidentally. She's from Belarus, but
Yeah.
anyways.
Tall thing. She's
they
tall.
asked, yeah, she lost her ex-mate
Yeah.
who played hockey, I think, for, might have been the Rangers or somebody.
Yeah.
He died. He committed suicide.
Oh my God.
But they had broken up before then. But anyway, she's a pretty nice person when you talk to her. But she was saying, and it's controversial. They asked her about what is she going to watch, and she said, you know, I don't watch a lot of TV.
Yeah.
But when I do watch tennis, I want to watch the men. I don't watch the women.
Oh.
She said, because there's more strategy and I need to pick up on that stuff. And I think she's probably right
Yeah.
in terms of watching, when you watch Djokovic playing Alcaraz or whatever, I mean, I'm always amazed when I watch Iga Swiatek because she's a player that if you wanted to play back to back, baseline to baseline, she's going to kill you.
Yeah.
First of all,
You got to move her up.
She's very quick.
Yeah.
If you're going to play Sabalenka, if Sabalenka wants to play her serve better be good,
Yes.
Sabalenka, because she's
Yes.
got a big serve.
Big
And
serve.
she hits the ball hard.
Yeah.
But when she does, and Swiatek goes from side to side, side to side, side to side, Sabalenka's the one that makes the mistake.
Yeah.
She can't keep up with that
Correct.
back to
She's-
back.
it wears
Medvedev's
her
like
down.
that, and Djokovic are like that. If you're
Yeah.
going to play them on the baseline, they're going to kill you.
Yeah. You got to get them moving.
You got to beat them
Yeah.
either on 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 shots. If it goes over 5 or 6 or 7 shots, they just wear you down.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
Well, Al, as we speak now, the Patriots are on the clock for the NFL draft. And Al, I'm making you the GM of the Patriots. Who are you targeting here with the number 3 pick?
well, it depends on who goes 1 and 2.
All right, let's
the two
hypothetically
quarterback-
say.
I'm going a quarterback.
Okay. Hypothetically say it's Caleb Williams to the Bears.
Yeah.
And Jaden Daniels to the Commanders.
Yeah. Well, that leaves.
Now you've got Penix, you've got Bo Nix, Drake May, J.J. McCarthy is there as well.
Yeah.
Who would you select?
May.
May. Here's who I'm selecting. Marvin Harrison Jr.
I know you said that a million.
Marvin Harrison.
They won't.
Al, I'm pounding the table right now.
They won't do it.
Telling these guys, go get Marvin Harrison Jr. because you don't see guys like that. They don't grow on trees.
They won't do it.
They, you know.
I'll tell you what they might do. They might go down.
Oh, I would just like, if they did that, I'd
Well,
just.
they might go down if
you
they
know,
think there's a quarterback that'll
please.
come down and give their
Have
3.
the courage to make the pick.
If the 3 wants a quarterback, they'll take whoever, and then maybe they could take Harrison. But
well, you know what?
They need a quarterback.
They need to get 2 first-rounders for that 3.
yeah, well, they need a quarterback.
this round, in this round.
If they could get a quarterback and Harrison, a decent quarterback, then I think they got a shot. Now, Jacoby Brissett's not going to win anything for the Patriots.
No, but he can throw the ball. He can throw the ball.
He's okay.
Yeah.
He's okay. But
I'll take okay right now. If you can give me Marvin Harrison Jr.,
you don't win. You don't win without a quality quarterback. I mean, even who they take, if they take one of these 3 guys, top 3, okay, they're not going to be a 12-5 team.
No, I don't know.
Not in the first year.
I really don't know what they're going to be.
Yeah, well, I
but
don't
the
either.
thing is that I know what they can be if they get Marvin Harrison Jr.
Well, even if they got Marvin, what do you think would happen next year if they got Marvin Harrison?
Next year.
Yeah, if they get him this year in the draft, and next year he plays for the Patriots,
Right.
they'll be an 8-9 team.
But, you know, they'll have that deep threat. And then you go get your quarterback. And then you go get the
No,
quarterback.
you know what? They won't do that. They're so.
So you're thinking Drake May?
Well, one of the, yeah.
Or
I
J.J.
think it's how it
McCarthy.
goes. Yeah, because here's the problem. It's just stands. It's history will say if you don't have good defense and you don't have a quarterback, you're not winning quality. Look at Mahomes.
Yeah.
You watched that game against San Francisco, the Super Bowl game. You knew at the end who was going to be there.
Yes.
Mahomes.
This is true. This is true. You're right.
And you know what? They just need, and everybody wanted. So the fan base is telling them, get a quarterback. They're not getting Harrison. You might be right in terms of he's the best athlete out there.
All right.
And that's what they used to do when they were loaded.
Okay.
They're not loaded.
All right, there you have it. Al has spoken. He wants a quarterback. I want a receiver. So let's see what the Patriots do here in the draft. All righty, everybody. That does it for us. We look forward to having you next time, and we'll discuss the Patriots draft picks. And let's see if Al's right or if I'm right. All right. Everybody, take care. Have a good one. We'll talk to you next time.